Welcome to how to move an add-on domain from a crowded cPanel over to your reseller account. The sad thing about this is cPanel hasn't addressed this in several years. There's no really easy way of doing this. So what I'm going to do is walk you through the steps to follow to do this and do it successfully. It's 3-4 simple steps, but a lot of people feel intimidated by it and are afraid to attempt it. So this tutorial should help you to be able to do this with full confidence that it's done right, done completely, and done by yourself. Okay, to save time, I've logged into an account that has an add-on domain, and on that domain is a WordPress installation. Well, so the first thing we're going to do is go to the quick search, and we're going to do, so you can see the add-on domain. It's an add-on. It shows us exactly where it's at in the file manager, which is important for what we're going to do next. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the file manager. And again, you can always use the quick search within cPanel. So we're going into File Manager. We want the domain that we're going to move. We want to go to it. We want to show hidden files. And we're going to go. Now the reason I went into the domain instead of the domain folder itself is we're going to create a zip file. And this zip file is going to contain the entire website. So what we did, I clicked on the WP admin, and then I held down my control button and clicked at the bottom of the files. We don't want the CGI ban, or we really don't need it, because we're going to be adding, we're going to be creating its own account for it, so we don't need it. So as we go here, you can see the compress files. So we'll press the compress, and we'll just go with the zip, and we'll name it something here, site move, and hit compress files. Generally it does it pretty fast. Okay, so now we're there. What we're going to do? Well, we're going to hit the reload, and we're going to find it, and we are going to, we right-clicked here, and we're going to choose download. And we want to save the file, and we're going to save it to our desktop, just so it's there. I've already got this set up, but a lot of places it'll give you the option where to save it to, and just save it to your desktop. It's the best way of knowing where it's at and finding it easy. So now we're done with the file manager for this. We're going to close the tab. We're going to go back home. Now we know it's WordPress, so we know there is a database. Now some will tell you go to phpMyAdmin and download it. Now that works, but I'm going to show you an easy way of doing this. Okay, what we want to do is go to backups, choose it. Okay, database, and here's our database. So we want to download a backup of it. We're going to save the file, and it's going to save to our desktop. Okay, once you've verified that they are downloaded, here comes the scary part for a lot of people. Okay, we're going to remove the add-on domain. And the reason we're going to do this is it's on the same server. We've upgraded to a reseller account, and it's an add-on. and it's going to have to be removed so we can actually create it as a legitimate web hosting account. So we go to our add-on, and we get ready to remove. Now I want to stress that at this point you need to be able to dedicate the next 15 to 20 minutes solely to get the site back up and running. That'd be the biggest amount of downtime you're going to have. That's it. So we're going to remove it. Yes, we do. Okay, so it's removing. So we're going to go over to our reseller account, and we've already done this in another tutorial, but we're going to create a new account. So we use create a new account, and we're going to use, there's the, and I just going to enter in password for me here. The email we want to use. And we're going to create it. Now, if you're watching this happen, you'll notice that the skeleton files were copied over. So it would have the default page there, or whatever you have in your skeleton file directory that we addressed back several tutorials ago. As we can see, it's all done. Everything's ready to go. So we want to go to our new cPanel. Okay, nothing's here, as we can all tell. So we go to cPanel and we log in. Okay, we've logged in. So first thing we want to do is go to our file manager. We want to access the main document root. And we want to upload. And we will browse. And we will choose the one that we've just uploaded. And you'll have a progress meter here as it uploads through it. You know, depending on your connection, it can take just a minute or two or several minutes, and it also depends upon the file size. If you have a ton of themes and plugins, of course it's going to take much longer. The reason we log into cPanel instead of going through the reseller, clicking on the cPanel to load it, is because we're going to be working with databases. And it's just simpler to, and it makes sure that there's going to be no issues at all when we go to assign users. And okay, we're complete, so we'll want to close this down because we're just uploading there. And we will reload, and there is our zip file. So we're going to select it, and we're going to choose extract. And where do we want to extract it to? The main folder. And we are done with that. We're going to leave this open just for a minute because we're going to have a little bit of editing here to do to the config file. Now, with that done, we are going to go to backups, and we're going to restore the database we just downloaded. So we're going to browse, and we're going to upload it and let it restore. You'll see it's done. It's restored, ready to go. Again, it can be slower if you have a larger database file. Okay, it's like, oh, okay, what do we do now? Well, we have the database in place, but we need to add a database user to it. So we go back to home. Oh, look at me. I'm just scrolling down. You could use your search to find it too. And we just want to go to the MySQL databases option. Here is the database name. And so we want to add a new user. For this one, I'm just going to call it something really fast like new user. It doesn't really matter what it's going to be. So it's whatever works for you. Same for the password. And of course with this, it makes it simple. It lets you know if anything's wrong and if you mistyped anything. And so we want to create the user. Okay, after we created it, it will actually tell you what the password is again. So we created that user with this password, so we go back. Now we want to add it to the database. We see the database here, user here. We add. I just always give it all privileges. It just makes sure that you're not going to have any issues. So we make the changes. Okay, now we have the new user, and it was added to the database. Now this is, just leave this page open here and get ready to start the copy and paste. So we go back to our file manager, we locate our WP config file, we click it, and we choose edit. I always just use the basic text editor with this. Right here is the only lines we worry about changing. It's the database name, which we have, and it's right here. So you paste it. We go back to the user. We copy and paste it too. And there's the username. It tells you right here in the code. And then we have the password right here. That's all we need to edit. That's all you need to edit. There's not really any huge database changes to make simply because we're using the same domain name. So we'll save the changes. It's looking pretty good all the way through. So when we want to just test our site here. Okay, we're there to that. We F5. And our blog is loading, it's moved, it's live, it's resolved, it's working. Now, of course, you always want to go into your WordPress admin, make sure that images are looking okay and everything else, but the main thing is you've now moved your site. You did it in just a couple of minutes, and you can do this over and over and over to get all the add-on domains off of the one domain into your reseller account. And it makes it easy to sell sites, to move sites. It just makes your life easier and things less complicated. And this concludes the tutorial on how to move an add-on domain onto your reseller account.